Great Hall the Biblioplex from Secrets of Strixhaven might just be the best 5-color land ever printed for Storm combo. Let's go check it out. Let's begin today's video by thanking James Hayek, also known as Pizza or Little Jimmy Relays in the Storm Discord, for today's donation deck. Little Jimmy Relays wanted to see Great Hall of the Biblioplex from Secrets of Strixhaven. And if you're unfamiliar with this land, I will read it to you. So it is a land that taps for a colorless. You could tap it and pay 1 life and add a mana of any color, but you can only use this mana to cast instant or sorcery spells, or 5 mana if this land isn't already a creature. It becomes a 2/4 wizard with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's still a land. The 5 mana activation is forever. Once you pay that 5 mana, it is a creature until the end of time. So you now have a backup win condition that's a 2/4 creature with pseudo prowess that could in theory kill the opponent, which is just really, really awesome. And I love that. So this is good in Storm combo because almost everything we want to cast is an instant or sorcery spell. And if it's not, it probably costs 1 generic mana like a Candy Trail or Skateboard. Okay, there's 1 spell in the deck that it does not cast, and it is Hexing Squelcher. Admittedly, I was really concerned, but the community's been testing this new land, and they've really been enjoying it, and saying that the fact it doesn't cast Hexing Squelcher has not been an issue. So I'm going to choose to trust them on this. The idea behind this deck list comes from the Mardu video that I recorded a few weeks ago that you can find in the card above. And in that video, I said that I loved Urza Saga. I didn't really love the rest of the deck because when you're Mardu colors for silence, you lose Boomerang Basics. And all of the white cards that you have to answer permanents just aren't as good as Boomerang Basics. So the community got working and they came up with this 5-color list where you get to play 12 lands, which is what we want in our Echo of Aeons deck, and you get to play Urza Saga. So why is Great Hall of the Biblioplex so good with Urza Saga? Like, we just had Starting Town printed just a few months ago. Well, Starting Town enters the battlefield tapped after the 3rd turn, which is a little bit problematic because games surprisingly do go longer than 3 turns in Legacy. And while it does tap for a colorless or a mana of any color, that entering the battlefield tapped just proved to be too problematic over time. So Great Hall of the Biblioplex doesn't have any of that problems. Yes, it doesn't cast 2 of your Hexing Squelchers, but I think the trade-off is worth it in the fact that it casts Urza Saga. If you were to play something like City of Brass instead, City of Brass deals you damage whenever you want to make construct tokens, which is not great. So Great Hall of the Biblioplex is probably the best land printed for this archetype, which is just really interesting. And I'll be honest with you, I've played it in 1 league off camera roughly a week ago, and I thought it was fine, but the community, the Stormtrooper section of the Discord, keeps on testing this list and improving upon it, and they really like their current configuration and asked for me to play it. So that's what I'm going to do here today. One thing that's different is Skateboard. It was not in the previous list that I played. And I actually ended up winning a lot of games with Urza Saga Construct Beatdown, and Skateboard helps with that. So I think that's pretty cool to see. Another issue I had was that the draws were pretty clunky, and then you ended up with a lot of Echo of Aeons or Runehorn Hellkite stuck in your hand. They ended up adding in Faithless Looting to smooth things out, because when you're an Urza Saga deck with 12 lands, you can't really afford to play Brainstorm. And you might be saying, that's not true. Brainstorm you can play with whatever. Not really. You really want more fetch lands in order to support Brainstorm. And if you're playing Urza Saga, it cuts into your fetch lands. Yes, you could in theory time Brainstorm, so that way Urza Saga shuffles cards away, but those are not ideal play patterns, and it leads to more losses than wins in my experience. So with 12 lands, Brainstorm and Urza Saga just aren't friends, so we're not playing Brainstorm. Instead, we're playing Faithless Looting here today. Other than that, it's a pretty stock deck list, and I'd like to thank the community once again, mainly James Hayek, but also Matthew Story and the other people working on this deck list. Hopefully we do well today. Let's see if that ends up being a reality, and I will see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We are on the play, and our opponent has a history of playing Esper, Vial, and Legacy. I'm going to guess that's what they're playing today. They reveal a Yorian Sky Nomad. We have a pretty solid hand. I will keep this. I'm going to lead with Great Hall of the Biblioplex, Lion's Eye Diamond, and then I will take 1 damage here and cast Gamble. Ouch. We'll select a Runehorn Hellkite. We discard the Mox Opal, and we will now pass. I wanted that Mox Opal. I was hoping to discard Faithless Looting, but that's okay. First action of the league was playing the brand new card from Secrets of Strixhaven. You've got to love that at least a little bit. They reveal Savannah into Veteran Explorer. Interesting. So maybe not the Esper Vial deck. Might be like 80 card, what is it called? Maverick. We'll make a black here. Dark Ritual. And now we will make red with the Lion's Eye Diamond. Use the Runehorn Hellkite. We're going to have 1 mana floating here. And they did not have blue. They are in fact a Selesnya deck. But unfortunately, I cannot win the game. So I will play Lion's Eye. Oh, actually I can Echo here. That is a possibility. We'll make 3 blue. And now we'll flash back the Echo of Aeons, leaving that black mana floating. Okay. I actually cannot win here. We will play Candy Trail, and I will Surveil 2. I do not want the Urza Saga. I think I want the Lotus Petal, and I will now pass the turn. So there is 1 card that I have reservations about regarding Great Hall of the Biblioplex, and that is Song of Creation. In my previous list, or my current list, I can't cast Song of Creation anyway. Well, I can't cast it off of only lands. Well, here, I can't cast it off of my lands or my artifacts because Great Hall of the Biblioplex only casts instant and sorceries, and then Urza Saga is my other land. So it just doesn't work the way that I would like it to. And I think I'm going to just pass here. They play Basic Plains into Birthing Ritual. They do not attack. End step, before they can potentially find a Collector Oof, I would like to make a construct here. Okay. So they're choosing to sacrifice the Veteran Explorer. They find Gaddock Teeg. That's annoying. We do have Burning Wish into Boomerang Basics. Now we'll go to my turn. We'll draw another Mox Opal. We will make another construct. And I think I'm going to grab Chrome Mox here. And now we'll imprint Silence. Play Skateboard. We'll tap the Dryad Militant. Now we'll play Mox Opal. Keep the new one. And now we're going to equip the skateboard to the new construct and go to combat. Swing for 15. They do not block. They're now at 4. Instead, they flash in a Felia Exuberant Shepherd. This is going to answer one of my constructs. Not loving that. They fetch with Flooded Strand. I mean, I could try to silence them here, but I don't want to lose the artifact. They have Skyclave Apparition. Okay. So, realistically, my constructs weren't going to win this anyway once the Felia was flashed in. And they smartly go after my Chrome Mox, which is probably the right move. And now a pre-war form aware. This will return the Veteran Explorer. They swing. Exiles my construct. I'm trying to figure out if there's a world in which I can win this. I don't know if there is. They sacrifice the Veteran Explorer and they grab a White Orchid Phantom, which will destroy my land. I've lost this one. We can go to the next game. I cannot win through the Gaddock Teeg. This Burning Wish has to get Boomerang Basics. And then I have nothing going on. We'll bring in the Boomerang Basics. I think I also want the Empty the Warrens. Get rid of Faithless Looting and the Hexing Squelchers. I'm not convinced that Silence is amazing, but a lot of these decks have Mindbreak Trap, and I just can't afford to leave myself vulnerable to that. So instead, I'm going to leave in Silence. So I changed my mind. I found our opponent's deck list. They had a result published with this. They did not have Mind Break Trap, so I'm going to board in the Faithless Lootings again and leave in 2 copies of Silence. They still have Force of Vigor and Endurance, which are things that we might want Silence for, so we're going to try this. On the play for game number 2. Unfortunately, this hand doesn't get the job done. We must mulligan. This one's close. I think I'll keep. Bottom the Song of Creation. We'll play Great Hall of the Biblioplex, tap it for a red, and then play Gamble. Select Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Mox Opal, Lion's Eye Diamond, and let's attempt to spin with Echo of Aeons. Storm is 4. Okay. So this allows me to continue spinning. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. And now a Gamble. Select Echo of Aeons again. We'll do blue and black. I'm going to choose to leave a blue mana floating here because I boarded in Boomerang Basics. But in this list with no Brainstorm, you have little reason to leave a blue floating. And this should win the game. We'll play Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox, Imprint, Faithless Looting. I don't know if it really matters. We'll make a black, beseech Dimir with Bargain, sacrifice the Opal, and Tendrils of Agony. Sweet, we have won game number 2, but now we have to win game 3 on the draw versus a Deafening Silence strategy. No changes on my side. We're just resubmitting the same configuration and hoping that we get to play Magic. Game number 3 on the draw, our opponent has taken a mulligan, we will keep. So with this hand, you're likely looking to silence your opponent on their second turn, and then turn 2 empty the Warrens, which isn't incredible, but you do have Urza Saga as a backup plan if they Deafening Silence you. I'm going to choose to keep. They have a Windswept Teeth for Savannah, and there's the Deafening Silence. They have 3 cards in their hand. Mox Opal. I'm going to play the Chrome Mox. Imprint the Silence. Alright, we're on Team No Wasteland. Pass the turn. Windswept Heath. Okay. They grab another Savannah. Gaddock Teague. Okay, well, like I said, we're Team Urza Saga right now. Saga goes to the second chapter. We'll play Great Hall of the Biblioplex and Mox Opal. Pass. We're all in on just making large boys. They play Witch Enchanter as a land. End step. We will make a construct. And now we go to my turn. Saga's third chapter. We'll make another construct. They have 2 cards. We'll grab Skateboard. Tap the Gaddock Teague. Play Chrome Mox. We'll imprint the Dark Ritual. We'll play another copy of Great Hall of the Biblioplex, which, by the way, I think is my backup, because I might activate this as a land next turn and start attacking. Get in there. 13. They're now at 5. Felia again. Every time. Ugh. Okay. It's annoying. They play a land. They can attack and kill one of my constructs now. And they do. 1 card in their hand. It's a Birthing Ritual. Wow. Okay. I need them to miss here. Or not even use it. They sacrifice the Felia. That's interesting. What are you grabbing then? Stoneforge Mystic. So this can grab a Meteor Sword? Which I feel like Felia is better than. Unless you have a Batterskull. They grab Pre-War Formalware, which will get back the Felia. So they're thinking long game. You draw Burning Wish. I'm going to play the Mana Confluence. I can activate the Great Hall and equip the Skateboard. Wait, no, I can't equip the Skateboard, but I can make this into a creature. And now we'll go to combat. Swing. They have to block the Construct or else they lose. So then they're going to take 2 down to 3. And we will pass. So they play the Pre-War Formalware. This can grab the Stoneforge Mystic or the Felia Exuberant Shepherd, but they select Stoneforge Mystic. And it's a 3/4 now. So it is good at blocking. They grab the Meteor Sword. And now the Birthing Ritual. I would love to draw Boomerang Basics. They sacrifice the Gaddock Teague for another Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. So I could activate the other land. Alternatively, I can equip the Skateboard and then play Burning Wish, and now my creature is a 4 power, and they have to block both. I think that's the better line here. Is Burning Wish better than Empty the Warrens is another question. Empty the Warrens might actually be better. Empty the Warrens for Storm 1, and now my creature land gets +1/+0. This is like the best showing I could have asked for this land in match number 1. Swing Batter. Swing! And now they have to block both. Their hand is Meteor Sword, and I think I don't know the others. I could be wrong. Great Hall of the Bibliotech attacking for lethal, or Biblioplex, I'm sorry. But this is just incredible. What a showing. Wrath of the Skies! No! Wow! No way! Wow! We just lost. I can't believe it! Top deck Wrath of the Skies. It was definitely good enough. I felt like I worked my way into a winning position, but you know, sometimes your opponent gets you and that happens, but I still think that was an incredible showing for Great Hall of the Biblioplex. We didn't win, but ultimately I don't think that matters. We lose match number 1 and we are now 0-1. Packs.com is the new way to open your favorite cards. It's a site where you open digital packs of trading cards like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and One Piece cards, and have the cards you open mailed quickly and securely to you. With a wide range of packs to choose from, such as the latest Magic sets, Kaladesh Inventions, or even Beta. I'm going to open a Beta pack. What's great about Packs.com is you can see all of the cards and their odds of being opened in each pack. Now it's time to open one and see what I get. Come on, Black Lotus! If you don't like what you opened, you could sell it back instantly for more packs, or sell it and pick a specific card from the marketplace over at packs.com/market. If you want to check out packs.com, make sure to click the link in the description of this video and use code STORM5 when making a purchase for 5% extra on your first purchase. Time for match number 2. We're on the play, and I faced our opponent last week, and they were on Lompox. That said, their entire Goldfish history is decks like Grixis control, so I don't really know what to believe. I'm going to keep this and hope that, you know, things pan out, I guess. I don't know. Faithless Looting is a nice card here. We can convert the Song of Creation into something useful. There's a lot to like. We'll lead with Mana Confluence into Lion's Eye Diamond and Faithless Looting. We look like Dredge right now. Ooh, Saga into Squelcher. We'll get rid of Song of Creation and Mox Opal. Pass the turn. They have an Underground Sea. Urza's Bauble. We reveal a Dark Ritual. They have their own Dark Ritual. Oh no. Into Barrowglyph, okay. I was like, is this Doomsday with Urza's Bauble? Like, we just lost, but not the case. They have 4 cards in their hand. My best draw might be like an Echo of Aeons, I'm not really sure. Most likely, my game plan is Hexing Squelcher pass, and hope that they don't have any creature removal. They will draw off of the Urza's Bauble, will draw for turn. Another Urza's Saga. Okay. Ouch. Play the Hexing Squelcher, and we will pass. They have Wasteland. They destroyed the Urza's Saga, which I'm okay with. Like, if I had to have a land destroyed, it's definitely the Urza's Saga, not the Mana Confluence in this spot. I just need you to tap that Underground Sea for a Tameo Inquisitive Student right now. They attack. Ouch. So they will mill the top 5 and then return a creature. Super Shredder, Netherglyph. They might not be playing real blue cards. They might just be on Dazes alone. Like, I think this might be the Eco Baronin deck. We'll begin by attacking with the Hexing Squelcher to see if they use a creature removal spell. Wing. We'll play Urza's Saga and Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. And now we will put Beseech the Mirror on the stack. Storm is 3. We will select Guy's Will, holding priority, because I'd like to sacrifice at least one of these Lion's Eye Diamonds, if not 2. So the first one will definitely happen being black. And I think I'll do the other one for Storm, because our opponent's at 23. If they were at a lower life total, I'd save 1 Lion's Eye Diamond here, because I like leaving contingency plans when I play my deck. So that way, if my opponent does have something like Fatal Push plus Force of Will, I can come back and win. But I don't think that's really a luxury in the spot that we're in. Alright, so we'll play Lion's Eye Diamond, Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play Mox Opal. And this allows me to make the colors necessary to cast Song of Creation. Storm is now 8. We'll make 3 blue, play a Dark Ritual. And all of a sudden we can cast that Faithless Looting from the graveyard too. Ah, they have Dark Ritual into Bowmasters. I did not consider that here. But that doesn't matter. We could still just kill them. Like, the draw 2 here really does not matter. They're going to target me. Ouch. Dark Ritual. I will sacrifice the Song of Creation. And we will select Tendrils of Agony. All at you. Boom. Alright, so we get game number 1 versus this Dimir Super Shredder deck. And Dimir is a loose term. Because if they're playing the stock list, it's mostly just Days in the main deck, then Consigned to Memory in the sideboard. I'm going to board out Hexing Squelchers, and we'll bring in some number of Boomerang Basics. Maybe cut one Faithless Looting. We'll try this. Game number 2. I will gladly keep this hand. Our opponent leads off with a Marsh Flats, Underground Sea, and a Thoughtseize. I wonder what their pick even is here. Like, my hand isn't that great. Like, you're sort of just an Urza Saga hand, and the Thoughtseize does not hit Urza Saga. So you could try taking Petal to make the Urza Saga construct token worse, but I don't know if that's a good game plan overall. They select the Boomerang Basics instead. We draw Gamble. I think I'm going to just play Skateboard and pass here. Alright, we have a tapped Skateboard. Woo. They play Nethergoyf, and they missed their second land, which it could just be them holding Wasteland. We'll play Urza Saga, play Lotus Petal. I will pass the turn. I could play Gamble for something like Chrome Mox here, but if they are holding Wasteland, I don't want to commit to that as a line. And they were holding Wasteland. Okay. And another copy of Thoughtseize. That hurts. Goodbye to the Gamble. We draw Mox Opal, but it doesn't do me a lot of good here. I will pass the turn. And I think I might actually upkeep Silence them, because having double Silence in my hand is a little awkward, and maybe it slows them down a hair. Because if I draw another Gamble, I would like the ability to gamble for Echo Veons, and if I draw Beseech the Mirror, I could just play the Silence in my hand. And if they're playing the Super Shredder deck that I think they are, they don't have a lot of interaction anyway. They search out Undercity Sewers, they keep a card on top. They'll now attack with the Nethergoyf, and I'll take 2 down to 15. The Black Curd Ape will draw for turn. Beseech the Mirror? Urza Saga. Okay. We will pass. I think I'm going to just silence here. Why not? They have 4 cards still in their hand. They swing for 3. I'll go to 12. We draw for turn, and it's a Lotus Petal. Urza Saga goes to the second chapter. I'll play Lotus Petal, and then pass the turn. They have a Dothy Voidwalker, which doesn't really matter in this spot in my opinion. They're at 14. End step, we'll go to 11. We'll create a construct token. We'll draw for turn. It's another Dark Ritual. I think I'm going to burn Dark Ritual here, so that way I don't have to lose life off of the Mana Confluence. And another upside is I don't have to sacrifice a Lotus Petal to equip. I wonder if I should grab like the Candy Trail. I don't even need a Lion's Eye Diamond here, which is why I was like, why would I grab a diamond? I'll get rid of this too. Like, I just don't need these cards. And then with that last mana, we'll equip the Skateboard to the new construct. And now we'll attack for 15. They block the smaller construct, which doesn't make sense, but, you know, your prerogative. They play another Wasteland, a turn too late. They swing, this knocks me down to 8 life. And they just pass. I guess we go to combat. The opponent may be doing the long pause trick here, hoping that I click through my combat step. Some people. Alright, we will attack. Orcish Bowmasters. I will go to 7. They made 2 blockers. Good for them. They have 3 cards left in their hand. In their upkeep, I will play Silence. This will stop any future blockers from coming down. And then they would need likely exactly another Orcish Bowmasters to stay alive. And our opponent has conceded the match. We have won, and we are now 1-1.
Building a new deck usually means getting hit with a dozen different shipping fees from a dozen different sellers. It adds up fast, and honestly, it's the worst part of buying cards. That's why I switched to Card Trader Zero. You shop their global marketplace, but instead of having every seller ship to you, they ship to Card Trader's hub first. Card Trader then packs everything into a single shipment for you, and it saves a small fortune on shipping fees. This package from Card Trader just arrived. These are 4 Dark Rituals that came from 4 different sellers, but they all arrived in one envelope, and every card was quality checked by the Card Trader team before it hit my door. Check out the link in the description to try Card Trader Zero's optimizer for yourself. Stop paying for multiple shipments and get just one.
Welcome back for the third match. We're on the draw, and our opponent's history recently has all been the colorless ramp deck with main deck Trinispheres and Disruptor Flutes and things like that. My hand contains both of our Beseech the Mirror targets. I could Faithless Looting them away, but then what do my Beseech the Mirrors do for the rest of the game? I would pretty much have to draw Echo Veons off of the Faithless Looting. I'm going to mulligan instead. This hand is terrible. Okay. This one is not great either. We'll go to 4. This one is very good. So we'll bottom Chrome Mox, the Urza Saga, and the second Lion Inside Diamond, unfortunately. They play Urza's Tower into Voltaic Key. We draw Runehorn Hellkite. Maybe I could have kept the Urza Saga instead of the Mana Confluence. I don't even know if that's worthwhile, but I could have. We'll grab the Echo of Aeons, and let's spin. Hopefully we get a good 7. I don't know if I would call this a good 7. I think I'm not supposed to silence them, because then I lose the Lotus Petal, and then my hand just doesn't do anything. I need to hope that they just don't have a broken play this turn. Candelabra is fine. Urza Saga, sure. Yeah, this worked out well. And now I can play my Saga and then silence them next turn. Upkeep will play Silence. Their Urza Saga goes to the second chapter. They have Planar Nexus, so they can make a ton of mana here. I think they actually have enough to make 2 constructs. And they're going to make at least 1 here. Sure. Disruptor Flute? No? Okay, you're just doing this in my upkeep? Okay. I wonder if I'm dead to Skateboard on their turn. Gamble. That deck does not have a Skateboard in it, but I'm pretty sure our opponent is dead here to Beseech Dimir. So I have an 80% chance to win the game off this gamble. Select Beseech Dimir. Okay, we did it. Play Dark Ritual. We'll play another copy of Mox Opal. Tap the Urza Saga for mana. Beseech Dimir will bargain away the Urza Saga. We'll grab another Beseech Dimir. Bargain away the Mox Opal. And now we'll select the Gaia's Will. We'll play it. And now I have Urza Saga as my land for the turn when I didn't have a land drop previously. And now I'll play Mox Opal. And then the other copy of Mox Opal. Sacrifice the Lotus Petal for a black. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Beseech Dimir with the bargain. And the opponent concedes instead. Nice. We definitely want the Boomerang Basics. We would like the Empty the Warrens. This deck plays 2 to 3 copies of Mindbreak Trap in the sideboard, so we would like all of our copies of Silence. I do not need Hexing Squelcher. Also don't really need Runehorn Hellkite, that can get out of here. And I think we'll shave 1 Faithless Looting. The alternative is the 4th Silence, but I think you just want Silence quickly. I'm going to try this configuration. Game 2, we're on the draw. This hand is really slow. It's technically lands and spells, or mana and spells, but they just don't do anything. I will mulligan. This one's fine. I will keep this. Bottom the Dark Ritual? No, I'm being silly. We need to bottom the Chrome Mox. I was thinking that, the Chrome Mox helps me with Urza Saga, but, who knows if I'm even allowed to do that. Ooh. Okay. So the question is, do I get another turn? Or am I supposed to play into Mindbreak Trap here? We'll play Urza Saga, play the Lion's Eye Diamond, play Lotus Petal, play Candy Trail. It appears that they're F6'd. We'll put the Gamble on the bottom, Echo on top. I think I'm going to try to spin here. Dark Ritual. We'll make blue. Flash back the Echo. From 5. This does not win. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond, Lion's Eye Diamond. But I think I'm going to sacrifice the Candy Trail. Beseech Dimir. We're 1 mana shy. Why did they just concede? Our opponent just conceded. Weird. Maybe they didn't draw lands? I don't really know what they're doing over there, but I'll take it. A win's a win, and we are now 2-1. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. We are back for match number 4 and on the play. This seems fine. I'll keep. We'll play Urza Saga, Chrome Mox, imprint the Runehorn Hellkite, and turn 1 Hexing Squelcher. Pass the turn. They have an Undercity Sewers. They kept a card on top. We draw a Lotus Petal. We'll play our land, play the Lotus Petal. And I am 1 black mana shy of winning right now. So I think I'm going to attack and just pass. They play a basic Swamp, Dark Ritual, probably not a good sign for me. But Ball Therapy on themselves, so Reanimator. And it is in fact Reanimator. And now they reanimate the Gristlebrand. Okay. So there is a skateboard in my deck. There's a real possibility here that I just tap the Gristlebrand and then kill them with attacking. They play Unmask, targeting me, and they exile Reanimate. And now they play Thoughtseize. This puts them down to 9. I think they're just dead to skateboard. I hope you're all doing kickflips at home, because it's about to happen on screen. Okay, we'll make a construct. Mox Opal, don't mind if I do. Cowabunga, dudes. We'll grab the skateboard. Turtle Power. Yeah, imagine having your Gristlebrand tapped. Couldn't be me. And we have defeated Reanimator in game number 1. There's a Saga doing some heavy lifting this league. We'll bring in the Leyline of the Voids. We don't need Hexing Squelcher. We probably realistically don't need we don't need Silence. I think I am interested in some number of Boomerang basics. Get rid of the Runehorn Hellkite and we'll try this. Game 2 on the draw. Yeah, we have Leyline and a Turn 1 Echo of Aeons. We keep these. Leyline of the Void. They have Polluted Delta, and they mulligan to 5. Is this just a turn 1 win now with the Dark Ritual draw? We'll play Lotus Petal, Chrome Mox, Imprint to the Gamble, Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play another copy of Chrome Mox. No. And then I'll sacrifice the Lotus Petal to cast the Dark Ritual. And now I will use the Chrome Mox for the 4th mana to cast Beseech the Mirror. Storm is 6. So I'm just trying to think out loud of if I can beat Graveyard Hate. So Beseech the Mirror, bargain Chrome Mox would be Storm 7. Beseech the Mirror, bargain Lion's Eye Diamond would be Storm 8. Tendrils of Agony would be Storm 9. So realistically, I need 2 Gaia's Will. So we'll cast it and sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay. And the opponent concedes. Nice. 2 fast matches in a row, and we are now 3-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. The 5th and final round, and we are likely dead. Our opponent's history is a lot of oops all spells, and they kept 7. I don't know if that's what they're playing today, but I don't think my decision matters. I will keep. I'm 1 mana shy of Beseech the Mirror into a win, and if they're not on oops all spells, I have Silence. It looks like they're not playing oops all spells today. Okay. We draw a Gamble, which is actually great here because it allows me to play Faithless Looting. We'll play the Faithless Looting. Ooh, no mana. I will get rid of Gamble and Beseech the Mirror? Or should I keep Beseech the Mirror in case I draw a Chrome Mox? I think I'm all in on this Hexing Squelcher, so I'm going to get rid of the Silence. Another Island. Are you show and tell? What's going on? Well, there's the Mana Confluence. So I'll play Hexing Squelcher and hope that I'm not dead and they have no removal. A 3rd Island. We'll play Urza's Saga. Lion's Eye Diamond, Dark Ritual. So they could have like a Snapcaster Mage or a Hull Breacher, so I don't want to attack here. We'll play Beseech the Mirror, bargain the Chrome Mox. We'll grab Gaia's Will, and we'll make 3 black off the Lion's Eye Diamond. Wow, we did it. Okay, so our opponent just played 3 islands and nothing else. High Tide, maybe? I'm not really sure. Well, we'll bring in another Hexing Squelcher. Maybe just get rid of the Faithless Looting. Well, let's try this out. Game number 2, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep. I like the Urza Saga pivot game plan that we have access to here. I still have no idea what our opponent is playing. Ancient Tomb. So this is show and tell. Okay. Turn 1 stock up. They have 5 cards left in their hand. And there's a skateboard. We'll play Lotus Petal, Urza Saga, play skateboard, tap their Ancient Tomb again. Now we'll play Mox Opal and pass the turn. They have an island, Lotus Petal, 4 cards in their hand. Okay. Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. We have a Silence. Kind of like that. We'll make a construct. We'll play Mox Opal, equip the construct, and now we'll attack for 5. And then in their upkeep, I can silence them. Upkeep, cast Silence. They Flusterstorm. Okay. 3 cards still in hand. I need those 3 cards to not kill me. It looks like they're passing. We'll draw for turn. Another land is actually great here. We'll make a construct, trigger the Urza Saga. We'll grab Lion's Eye Diamond, play the land, equip the new construct, and this is just shy of winning, but it does put them to 2, so the Ancient Tomb will be shut off. Pass the turn. They play another island, and Thought Lash. Their Thought Lash combo. Okay, they just wanted to show off their sick deck that they were playing. Okay, so we went 4-1, only losing to probably the best Wrath of the Skies that's ever been cast against me. I have to say, I was a little bit of a hater coming into this league. I was like, I played the one league off camera, and it did not go well. And part of the reason it didn't go well is that there was 3 Echo of Aeons and 3 Runehorn Hellkite. I think Skateboard was the difference maker in this league. This is probably the best league that I've had where Skateboard has shined. And that's because Urza Saga was so good. Urza Saga did a lot of heavy lifting this league. It really did. I think that Great Hall of the Biblioplex was good, but it was really just a showcase of Urza Saga and Skateboard. Faithless Looting was not bad. Katy Trail was not bad. But I think Urza Saga, along with Silence, was just kind of unfair. I think that getting to speed up your construct tokens with Skateboard and then telling your opponent they can't cast spells was a lot better than I expected. So that is the big innovation here. I'd like to thank James Hayek, aka Little Jimmy Relays, for the donation deck. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to thank Little Jimmy Relays in the comment section down below. And if you have any feedback, put it there as well. I'm sure that James will read it. Thanks again for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. Are you looking to level up your combo game? There's no better way than signing up for an Epic Storm tutoring session with myself truly. You could visit theepicstorm.com/tutoring to sign up today, or you could even become a member of the Combo Cabal here on this very YouTube channel. With all the additional perks, you get 1 hour of tutoring every month. Go check that out.